Welcome back to The Haunted Beard, everybody. My name is Jake. Thank you once again for joining me. Today, I want to give you some thoughts and say a few words about Caddo Lake. This is a film that is now available to stream on HBO Max. And this is a review that is probably going to feel a little more raw than my other reviews, mainly because I have no idea what to say about this movie. This is one of, I don't know, probably half a dozen or so films this year to where I would say you need to go in absolutely blind. And this is another example of it. If you want the best possible experience, I would say that probably applies to most movies. At least that's what I like to try to do, is go in as blind as possible. But this one especially, you need to go in blind. It's going to make for the best experience. But this is a film, like I said, I don't really know what to say about it because it is going to be extremely difficult to talk about it without spoiling it. Typically what I do when I watch movies is, I'll have my phone, I'll take some notes and, write some stuff down. And then before I film my reviews, I'll kind of make some bullet points of some of the highlights and stuff like that I want to talk about. Well, I didn't really do that with this movie because, again, I can't talk about the plot at all without giving something away and without spoiling an element or two of the film. So outside of a very brief plot synopsis, I'm gonna, I don't know, just throw out some thoughts. And I think mainly I at least wanted to give something of a review for this movie because overall, if you're a fan of mystery thrillers, I would recommend it. I think it's at least worth checking out, as I enjoyed it for the most part. Now, when it comes to, again, a very basic plot, it involves these people in this place called Caddo Lake. And it's like the kind of the marshy swamplands of Louisiana. And what ends up happening is this 8-year-old girl goes missing and she disappears, and the people rally around to try to find her and figure out what exactly happened. And this is a film that it does a pretty good job establishing the characters. It really focuses, for sure, in the first like 30 to 40 minutes on it plays out more as a drama than a mystery thriller. That element of the movie kind of doesn't hit until a good half hour, 40 minutes into it. But I think the film does a good job in kind of building drama and introducing you to the characters and getting you invested in them. I thought that the two main performances from Dylan O'Brien and Eliza Scanlon were pretty good. There is definitely some kind of emotional baggage and stuff that they're dealing with, which I think it just makes us more emotionally invested in the characters, to where we care about their journey and, what they go throughout the rest of the film. And so the film starts off as more of a drama of these people dealing with some difficult situations, and then this disappearance and mystery unfolds out of that. Now, I'm going to be extremely vague when discussing my thoughts on any more of this, but I'm going to kind of try to focus more on my emotional reaction to things without saying exactly what those things are. But there's a chunk in the middle of this movie about 25 minutes long. Once you get to close to the hour mark, there's about a 20 to 25 minute chunk where I was genuinely confused. I had a very basic idea and understanding of kind of what they were doing with the mystery. But beyond that, I was like, this is going to need some more explaining because there's some things that are not really making sense. And so there is this chunk of confusion in the middle of it. But I was like, you know what? Let's see if they can land the plane. Let's see how it all pans out. And I think for the most part, they do a pretty good job. Now, there is a reveal that occurs in this movie that I have to say was genuinely shocking and surprising, and it was really unexpected. And so from that pure kind of emotional, reaction to it, it's one of the best things about movies. When a movie truly surprises you and throws something unexpected and shocking at you, it just makes me happy and excited, right? It's like one of the best things a movie can do. And so my initial reaction to that was like, oh my goodness, I did not see that coming, sort of thing. However, at the same time, trying to kind of separate my initial emotional reaction to it to then reflecting on it a little bit further and being like, okay, does that fully make sense? Does that fully come together, right? There's always kind of the emotional aspect and the logical aspect, right, when talking about movies. And the emotional aspect of it was great. The logical aspect of it, does it all kind of come together and make sense? I think they do a pretty good job, but I have a few issues with kind of how the overall mystery kind of comes together. And I can't really get into any of those issues because, again, it's going to spoil some things and give some stuff away, which I don't want to do. So overall, I think the writers and directors do a pretty good job of having a film that is balanced between giving us enough character to where it's not so plot heavy, but giving us enough character that we actually care about them, and that helps us get invested in the mystery that unfolds. And so they balance character and plot, I think, pretty well. And for the most part, I found it pretty satisfying. There are going to be, I'm certain, some people who think that this kind of turns into a very convoluted sort of mess, and that's totally fair. But from what I could gather in kind of trying to think through it a little bit, I was pretty satisfied with everything. So overall, this is going to be a film. I'm going to be a solid 7, maybe 7.5 out of 10 for Caddo Lake. So yeah, it's streaming right now on HBO Max. If you like mysteries, give it a shot. I think you might have a pretty good time with it. So that's really all I feel comfortable with saying without, again, giving anything away. I don't want to spoil or ruin anybody's experience with it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Like always, thank you so much for watching. Hit me up down below with this one. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts if you've seen Caddo Lake. Yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys thought of this one. So thanks so much for watching. If you got anything out of this video, go ahead and do me a favor and do not click that subscribe button unless you want to be haunted by the beard.